Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Landy Lodge. Wow, what a 24 hours it has been, has it not? Yesterday was a day of simply gloom and doom. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link was canceled. All had been lost. Our trip to Scala ad Kylum canceled. Our questions left unanswered. What would become of us? And here we are. Here we are, just a day later. And we finally, after years, got another look at the Kingdom Hearts 4. I was going to say the Kingdom Hearts 4 development experiment, whatever you want to call it. It's beautiful. And yes, we're rocking the Kakarot sweater today, bringing out the big duds. I got to say, I am... somebody in the chat, I think it was Falcone, said, who's got whiplash? I got whiplash. I've got major whiplash from yesterday. Let's give some shout outs to the people in the chat. We got a lot. Adonai, Nashi, Dude Tensei, Focus Fire, KH Guides, The Goat, Oak Tudor, Skazfish, Addison, Bondforged, Will, Hillary, Kingdom, Zeb, Jay, Kevin, me doxing myself, Lauro, the former Lodge Great Umbra, Flygon, Skazfish, Tom, Vexodus, Artist Joint, who am I missing? Lions Cave, Falcone. I think I got everyone. Cheese Puff dropped by earlier. I think I got everybody on the roll call. 7 Hearts is in here now. We've got 59 people in the lodge. It's a crowded lodge. We're turning up the AC because the temperature is spiking. So, again, for those who may not be filled in, first things first, we got plenty of new screenshots, 7 in all, 8 if you count the Japanese Twitter, which put up a second version of this image. We'll go back and forth. But here are our 7 images that we are breaking down today. I've got theories, I've got ideas, I've got analysis. The whole community's gone nuts. I know BioRoxas has already done a gameplay breakdown of what's going on here. Twitter is flying with theories. Shout out to Max over on Twitter. Great minds think alike. Him and I put out the same theory today. It is, man, look what they can do with simple crumbs. Because let's be honest, we're going to feast, but these are crumbs. And how these crumbs have just ignited a storm. A storm. Oh my God. And again, so much to go over. I almost don't know where to begin. I guess I'll start by saying if you chose to tune in, be it live or you're watching this back, let me extend my deepest thanks. There's no shortage of Kingdom Hearts content creators. There's no shortage of people talking about this. So you take a time out of your day to spend it with me while we talk about all this. I am truly honored and deeply touched. Yo, Max shout out. Max gets the shout outs, man. Max has been following us for a while. I hope they can make it in here today. I might even pull up their tweet later. But anyway, only the Kingdom Hearts community can see a pic and make it a whole theorizing event. Well, you know what? Only Kingdom Hearts, not only, but very few stories like Kingdom Hearts have so much depth and so much mystery and so much going on that, yes, 7 screenshots do allow for some kind of crazy, wacky, wild breakdown. I see we've got Oath on the Twitch side of things. Oath is holding it down over on Twitch. Oath, you were cracking me up today with those Heartless images, the Heartless plushie, where it's like waiting for Kingdom Hearts news, and the little dude was chilling. Then when it was canceled, it was like, oh. And then when we got the new, you're just cracking me up. But anyway, look, let's run into this. I talked about this theory earlier today on a video. We will definitely discuss that. But I actually, what is this? What are you? Get out of here. I don't even know what that is. Let's talk about this right here. Let's start here. Here's where we can start. Playable Michael Mouse. Who would have guessed it? Playable Michael Mouse has made it. Oath's tweets were a lot of fun to look at. She's hilarious, and everybody should follow her. I know she's got a TikTok, she's got an Instagram, she's on Twitter. Everybody should follow Oath JPEG. And I see Noct Flugel has made it over as well. But all right, let's keep rolling. Check it out. Playable Michael Mouse, ladies and gentlemen. Playable, the king has returned. I need to make that a clip that I can cut to. by the way. I need to make that a clip I can cut to. The king has returned. But anyway, Michael Mouse, playable Michael Mouse. And look, let's talk about something that I don't think gets talked about enough. So the evolution of Kingdom Hearts' gameplay has been wild, to say the least, right? You had Kingdom Hearts 1, which really was a hybrid of platforming and action, which was all the rage in the PS2 days. You could think Jak and Daxter, you could think Spyro the Dragon, you could think Ratchet and Clank. Again, those weren't really RPGs, those were more action platformers. But what Kingdom Hearts brought to the table that made it so special was it took those action platformer elements of, say, your Jak and Daxters or your Ratchet and Clanks or your Spyros or what have you, and combined it with the RPG elements of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and the like. That was sort of Kingdom Hearts' niche when it burst onto the scene. Now, in Kingdom Hearts 2, they made a gameplay decision that some agreed with, some didn't. But in Kingdom Hearts 2, they pretty much cut the platforming and just made it a hallway of combat. I'm not saying that to its detriment. Some people prefer the hallway of combat. Completely valid. But Kingdom Hearts 1 had a different approach. There was exploration. There was a vast exploration, I should say. There was vast exploration. There was lots of platforming. There were, for instance, there were things in the beginning of the game you couldn't achieve, certain platforming plateaus and spikes that you couldn't reach that if you came back later in the game you could. Little things like that. But then again, Kingdom Hearts 2 made this shift into, again, just being a hallway of combat. By the time we get to Kingdom Hearts 3, it really stuck to the sort of super combat-oriented spirit of Kingdom Hearts 2, but what you started to see were a lot more of those platforming elements starting to come back. I actually think Kingdom Hearts 4 is aiming to accomplish what Kingdom Hearts 1 couldn't. Not a shot at Kingdom Hearts 1, by the way. Absolutely love the game. I think there's a spirit and an energy in Kingdom Hearts 1 that will never be achieved again. But in some ways, the platforming in KH1 could be a little lacking at times. The action in Kingdom Hearts 1 could be a little lacking at times because it was so, this sort of approach was so new to the scene, was so, how do I put it? Was so novel in as a development. And then the fact that Kingdom Hearts 2 kind of pivoted never allowed that sort of hybrid approach to blossom. Kingdom Hearts 3 started to let that original vision bleed back in. And now finally getting to this image, I think based on what we saw in the KH4 trailer, which before you saw any real action, what did you see? You saw Sora doing platforming, right? He's using the kingdom key to like slingshot and air step his way through. He's sliding through a building, right? They're showing you right away that platforming vision from Kingdom Hearts 1, there's a team that really wants to achieve what that game set out to do. And when I look, now we're back here, when I look at this Michael Mouse screenshot, it appears to me they're showing you right away the platforming is back again. That the platforming is 100% going to be a focus here. You see there's limited commands for Mickey, probably just going to be between attack and a reaction that lets him swing from chandelier to chandelier. But it appears to me we're probably going to get a Michael Mouse segment. Excuse me. That might serve as a tutorial for the game. Like, I actually think the tutorial might be Michael Mouse. I'm gonna call my shot right here. Landy calls his shot. Here we go. The tutorial for Kingdom Hearts 4 will be Mickey Mouse in the Scala ad Caelum libraries, and this is where the player will be introduced to the concept of Scala ad Caelum, Union Cross, Foretellers, Lost Master. I really think just in the way that Kingdom Hearts 2 had a way of educating the player on Nobodies, Chain of Memories, Nominee, right? You might have missed the context in Chain of Memories, but the prologue of Kingdom Hearts 2 had a way of opening up new mysteries, but getting the player caught up to speed on what took place at Castle Oblivion. I think KH4 is going to take the same approach with Mickey Mouse, Michael Mouse, in Scala ad Caelum, going to be the prologue, and the whole time he's in Scala, you're not going to hear nothing about Sora, nothing about Riku, nothing about Kairi, nothing about any of that. It's all going to be foretellers, Master of Masters, Lost Masters. It's the start of the Lost Masters arc, Lost Master arc, which means the very first thing we're going to do is get a refresher or new insight on what the Lost Masters are. That is why we see Mickey Mouse here in Scala ad Caelum in this huge library. I mean, the setting speaks for itself. We're gonna get educated. We're gonna get educated over at Scala ad Caelum, okay? Talk about higher education. Okay. But there we go. And you know what? I forgot to do something. Let's boot this up. A tutorial for a mainline game not in a Station of Awakening could be interesting. I still think you might get that Station of Awakening tutorial with Sora, but shortly after that ends, I think we maneuver to Michael Mouse. Now, again, it also doesn't have to be the prologue. What you could have is a multifaceted, kind of the way Kingdom Hearts 3 did, where at certain times we'd play as Riku, at certain times we'd play as Aqua, at certain times we'd play as Sora. I think 4 might have an approach like that, and maybe this isn't the prologue, but maybe this is something that happens along the way. Now, let me see here. I see we've got 87 sickos and normies in the chat right now. Yesterday, we had a Landy Lodge record that without a raid, right, because raids are cheating when it comes to counting that kind of stuff. That was our largest audience ever. So I just want to say, I love you guys for that. Thank you. And what I'm going to do real quick, let me see. Perfect. Okay. Got it. I'll swing back on that. But let's, still would be cool if Kairi training is the tutorial. I'm up for that too. I don't need that segment to be playable, but I think what we're all in desperate need of is some cutscenes or a segment that shows this master-mentor relationship that is developing between the two. That's at least what we can hope for, right? Show me that master, how would you say, the master-mentor relationship that will develop between the two. Okay, I've got some shout outs to do because we have gotten some super chats from Billy the Kid Lawrence, who says the drought is over. He's been a member for 33 months. Shout out to you, Billy the Kid. $2 super chat yells out Michael Mouse. And with a $5 super chat says, I've dreamt of this Mickey gameplay. Kinda. I have too. You know, I've said for the longest time, and I hold to it, it's not that I want less Disney in Kingdom Hearts. I do want less Disney worlds and less focus on Disney worlds. And I'd be fine for Disney's slice of the pie to be more invested in Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Yensid, Fairy Godmother, Merlin, Pete, Maleficent. You know, I've always said that. So seeing Mickey get a little bit of time in the light here, as we saw from Remind, right? Building off of Remind, I can't help but be really happy about that particular decision. Okay, now let me swing back over here. Give me a second. Here's what I'd like to do, sickos and normies. I'm going to gift some channel memberships to celebrate this glorious occasion. So I'll shoot that out to all of you. Shout out to Roger Hernandez, Cheese Sauce Lechetta, Supernova Nightmare, Makai Sayin, Kakito, Ichiban, Baron Danette, Ramen, Nora Vanguard, and Limitin. Enjoy those gifted memberships. That is my thank you to you, sickos and normies. We've broken 100 people tuning in, so consider that my way of saying thank you. And let's continue to have a good time. Will's Word with the $10 super chat says, His Royal Majesty, Michael Theodore Mouse. Isn't it true that, isn't that like technically his like middle name is Theodore? Who knows? I might be making that up. But I don't think I am. Let's pop this out. Give me 1 second, guys. Got to produce, host, and manage all at the same time. But hey, I do it because I love it. All right. Pull that down. Now let's get back to it. So let's talk about the fact that he's very clearly, in my opinion, in Scala ad Caelum. If we recall, that is where Yensid basically said he was headed. So it should be no surprise that Mickey is in Scala ad Caelum. I do think this entire section is just going to be about telling us about the foretellers, telling us about the Master of Masters. That to me is what this entire gameplay segment appears to be. It seems to be very platforming oriented, and seeing as the platforming we can look at doesn't look too difficult, I imagine this is very early in the game. Much like everything else they've allowed us to see, I imagine this is very early in the game. $5 super chat from Billy the Kid Lawrence. I want other Disney villains, not just Maleficent, getting involved in the main story again, leaving their worlds. I think that could work for a handful of villains. I honestly wouldn't mind if that stayed limited to Maleficent and Hades. That's my take. Laurel says, I have the screenshots upscaled a bit without being super muddy in the Discord server. You know something? If the muddiness is an issue, I'll pull those up as backups. But thank you for that, Laurel. Thank you very much. Maybe they'll tie in missing link lore during this part. Absolutely. That's another good point. I'm sure we'll learn about Brain, Ephemer. Look, there's a lot of learning that's going to take place here, which is why I think it would make a good prologue, right? Because you don't want to you don't want to railroad the player with too much plot or too much at once. You don't want to just offload plot onto the player, lore dump, especially by the time the player's in the thick of the gameplay. By the time you've introduced the high stakes, crazy action gameplay, it's hard to have a lot of those lore dumps. So if we are going to have some kind of lore dump in a library, I imagine this is taking place very early in the game. Swig for the hardworking men and women of Square Enix. Okay. I want Lurium to be reunited with Strelitzia. You know something? Let's do that. Let's do that real quick. Let's move over. We're moving over. Okay. So I have a bit of an announcement about this. Right? I have a bit of an announcement about this with Strelitzia here. My wife and I talked it over last night. We've decided that we're adopting Strelitzia because she's adorable. We've decided we're adopting her. And that if anything bad happens to her, there will be hell to pay. Okay? If anything bad happens to Strelitzia, there will be hell to pay. I just want to get that out of the way. Just want to put that out there. Okay? This is now my adopted daughter. You will not speak ill of her in my house, in my lodge. You got something bad to say about Strelitzia, you take it to somebody else's stream. Take it to Prodigy's stream, okay? Leave it out of here. Shout out to Prodigy. Why does she look like she's about to make crimes or is in a smiling mugshot? Because she is. So, okay, that disposition aside, I'm about to pretty much, in contrast to everything I've just said, we should be suspicious of dear old Strelitzia. We should be suspicious of dear old Strelitzia. But I do want to say that, you know something, actually? Let me pull this up. Okay. Let's pull this up, actually. Is those really the only two? Jesus, I could have sworn I had the other one pulled up. All right, give me a second. Where did that image go? There you are. Okay. Here's what I'd like to do. I'm going to pull something up so that we could just do a little bit, because I would love to give them credit for their hard work. Let's shrink this down a little bit. Perfect. Let's pull her over. Man, the glow up is real, folks. The glow up is real. Here, you know what? I can make this look a little bit better. Pull that down. The glow up is real, folks. I mean, it does. When you see something like this, right? This is the kind of thing, you know, a lot of creators like myself kind of try to lean on when it comes to this long wait and the anticipation and all of that. Does the improvement you see not make the wait alone worth it? You understand what I'm trying to say? Does the improvement, the glow up Strelitzia has gotten, and we'll get to Sora too, by the way. Sora's gotten quite the glow up too. But when you see this kind of glow up, when you see this kind of improvement, does it not make the wait worth it? It does for me. It does for me. Because, like, There's no difference really. She looks the same, just better. I think she looks way better. I mean, her eyes are so much more, just so much more, like, not vibrant, but like, I don't even know how to put it. Like they just look a little less cartoony. The eyes, you know what I mean? They look more in line with Nomura's style. The hair, I think, looks infinitely better. If you want to compare, like, the sort of shading on the hair, I think there's almost no comparison. And, like, her face is puffy here. Like, she's got a bit of a puffy face over here. Whereas here, I don't know, it just looks so much smoother. The nose is way different, actually. If you look at the nose, right? The angle is a lot different. So, I don't know. For me, when I see this, it makes the weight a whole lot different. But again, let's talk about Strelitzia, okay? Let's put Neo Strelitzia away, and let's talk about Strelitzia for a minute. Let's talk about Strelitzia for a minute. Now, it's nothing new, right? Ever since the trailer came out, there have been discussions of, like, is this really Strelitzia? Did somebody steal her body? Is this, you know what I mean? I think that theory is still valid. And I think we all can acknowledge there appears to be an air of mischievousness to this. You know what I mean? Like, she looks cute and innocent, but I think you all see it too. I think Folsey pointed out the mugshot kind of aura here. There's almost a bit of an air of mischievousness or mystery to her being here. When I see this picture, you know, I almost... Hear me out. You know what? Let's do this. Anyone else getting FF7 remake vibes with these graphics? I most certainly am. I can tell you that much. Let's do this. So here's something I wanted to point out first. And I promise it's going to paint into a bigger idea. So just hang with me. Stay with me, folks. Stay with me, folks. So first of all, I don't know about you guys. I see a little bit of a resemblance. It might just chalk up to just being Nomura's art style. Might be nothing more than that. But I almost see a little bit of a resemblance between these two. I'm not going to make a bloodline argument. Not taking it down that road. But I almost wonder if these two, in some way, are destined to clash. I have two avenues we can go down, right? Let's go down the avenue that this isn't quite Strelitzia. Let's go down that road. Let's go down that road for a minute. I'm going to go two avenues. That this is really Strelitzia and that this isn't actually Strelitzia. Let's go, let's take both crossroads, you might say. Let's say that this isn't Strelitzia and rather somebody using her. Okay? Using her. I don't see a resemblance between the two. I'm not saying there's like a familial resemblance. I'm saying there's an aura resemblance, right? Not making the bloodline argument. That's not the kind of resemblance I'm talking about. But let's keep rolling here. Let's keep rolling here. What if you guys, because remember, Kingdom Hearts there's patterns. Kingdom Hearts doesn't repeat itself, but there's a lot of patterns. And I can't help but think about Chain of Memories, right? Chain of Memories. Where you had this, in order for the organization to really tap into Sora, they needed Naminé, and they needed Sora to conflate Naminé with Kairi. Right? That was a formula they needed to properly utilize Sora, right? Everyone who's ever tried to use Sora, Kairi is always the linchpin, right? When Xehanort needed to motivate Sora, he killed Kairi. When the organization wanted to puppeteer Sora, they had to bait him with Kairi and conflating Naminé with Kairi and things like that, right? Patterns. What if, right? And this isn't Strelitzia, and rather somebody who took away her body, name, Ala Yazora, Nameless Star, same thing, right? Patterns. What if Strelitzia tries to do to Sora what Naminé tried to do with Sora. What if Sora wakes up in Quadratum and he doesn't have his memories? We don't know, right? Remember that in the trailer that we did see, Sora never gets to speak. So we don't know where he's at. Does he have memory of what he just did? Does he know who he is, where he has to go? We don't know what condition Sora is in. Hear me out. I'd be willing to bet there's a chance that if Sora wakes up without a memory, there's going to be an attempt to maybe conflate Strelitzia with Kairi. Because remember that in the trailer, Strelitzia never said her name. Strelitzia never said her name. Right? So we don't know where Sora is at. Strelitzia has not said who she is. So it's very possible that I'd be willing to bet that if Sora wakes up without a memory, foggy memory, loss of memory, there might be an attempt to utilize Strelitzia in a similar way to Naminé, with that sort of conflation. Something like that might happen. And then can you imagine, right? Say that plan's becoming successful and Sora has conflated Strelitzia with Kairi. But then Kairi finally shows up in like the 11th hour or something. And it jogs Sora's memory, right? Kairi shows up like, get your hands off of him, and it jogs Sora's memory. And now Strelitzia and Kairi are fighting and Sora's having a Cloud Strife headache. I could see it. Random theory, just wanted to put it out there. I don't know why I have this inkling that Kairi and Strelitzia might be destined to clash. Because don't forget, like I said with Patterns, when the organization was trying to puppeteer Sora by having him conflate Naminé with Kairi, who was in charge of that plan? Marluxia. And who is Marluxia? Strelitzia's brother. And I will leave it at that. Now, let's break off into the other crossroad. Okay? Now let's say that this really is Strelitzia. Okay? Now let's say this really is Strelitzia. Wait. I'm gonna go back. Actually, wait. Never mind. I'm gonna move forward with what I was thinking. Let's say this really is Strelitzia. Now you have a really, really cool dynamic forming. Hear me out. Strelitzia and Sora, they want to go home. Right? They want to go home. I can imagine a scenario where Kairi switches places with Sora to save him. Maybe Riku does that too, right? Could be either way. But I almost feel like with Strelitzia, if this really is her, it creates such an easy way to rope in the Dandelions, right? Because not only does Kairi want to get to Quadratum for Sora, Lauriam wants to get to Quadratum for Strelitzia. So you almost can have this connected rescue mission that unites forces that used to otherwise be opposed. Now, hear me out on this. We've laid out a scenario for both crossroads. It is Strelitzia, it's not Strelitzia. Let's run down the middle. I think, regardless of whether this is the real Strelitzia or not, it will not be Sora that saves Strelitzia. It will not be Kairi that saves Strelitzia. It will not be Lauriam that saves Strelitzia. There is, in my opinion, a bigger reason why she's here and a bigger reason why she may need to be rescued. Because there's somebody who, even though it's not their fault, they need to atone for the situation she's in. I predict Strelitzia will be saved by Ventus. Because Ventus was puppeteered to strike down Strelitzia, and I think it's possible that if Strelitzia is now being puppeteered, Ventus will be the one to save her, to redeem himself, to redeem himself for letting that happen during the Union Cross era, right? Whether she's under control or not, I believe it's going to be Ventus to save Strelitzia. And then Laurium will be indebted to Ventus. That's the problem. Because Laurium's going to be a big character, right? If Laurium's motivations start and stop at rescuing Strelitzia, there's not going to be much more to do with him as a dandelion moving forward. However, if we get into a scenario where Ventus is the one to rescue or save Strelitzia, now you have a situation where Laurium is now indebted to Ventus. And I think that sets up something cool there. I think that sets up a potential really cool pattern. But all right, let's now get Kairi out of here. Anyway, look, just to bring us back, I cannot gush enough over how good this looks. I really can't gush over enough how good this looks. And I can't, because remember, this quadratum art style is not like the Kingdom Hearts art style, right? It's obviously, some people have noticed, it's resembling a very Final Fantasy sort of art style, which of course is right in line with Nomura. I can't wait to see what she's going to look like back on the Kingdom Hearts side of things. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right. Let's see how we're doing here. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. All right, chat. All right, chat. All right, chat. It's funny. I don't want to move on past Strelitzia, because again, I think she looks great. It's awesome. But we're going to move on. All right. Let's talk about... We can keep Strelitzia on. No. There we go. Let's talk about this goddamn phone. Okay? This is the most goddamn Nomura thing possible. Okay? I just want to point this out, right? We've got Sora, pulling a Vanitas, and he's surfing on the chains, doing this big mob attack that's going to space out and get all these Heartless, whose designs we are definitely going to talk about. You got Strelitzia over here. She's looking adorable and mischievous. Fantastic. We got Mickey leaping from chandelier to chandelier in Scala ad Kylum. We got Sora literally looking like Versus 13. Obviously, someone is about to appear. Here's Sora again. Looks like someone's about to make an entrance. Big battle with the dark side. Dark seed, whatever. So crazy. And then we get a freaking rotary phone. Okay. Hear me out. So, in folklore, in literature, in fiction, this rotary phone, sometimes called a wind wine phone, it can be utilized to communicate with the dead. Communicate with the dead. Now, keep in mind, on either side of reality, they see the other side as the land of the dead, right? In the Kingdom Hearts world, they see themselves as the land of the living. Unreality is the land of the dead. In unreality, it's vice versa. So essentially, this phone will probably let you communicate across realities. Hear me out, though. I think it's a one-way phone. I think it's a one-way phone. Hear me out about this. You ready? You ready? Do you remember those letters Kairi wrote to Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3? Say it again. Do you all remember those little notes and letters Kairi was writing to Sora? I think Sora is going to be able to hear all of it. I think it's possible whatever Kairi's writing, Sora is going to be able to hear it. Now, I think there's two ways of doing this, right? If Sora has his memory, it creates that longing. It creates like he wants to go back. If Sora doesn't have his memory, he's going to be like, who is this? Who am I listening to? All right, there's so many cool directions you could take this. But what I think this phone will be a way for both sides of reality to communicate with each other. But I think it'll be primarily, my guess is going to be, Sora's going to be able to hear Kairi's letters. Right? I don't know. There's something about that clicks. I mean, why else show this phone? She likes talking to Sora, even if it's on paper. And you notice she says talking to Sora. Not writing him a letter. Not, I like to get my thoughts about Sora down. No, she actively feels as if she's talking to Sora when she's writing those letters. I really genuinely believe Sora's going to be able to hear all those letters. Because if you remember, straight to voicemail. Because if you recall, remember in Melody and Memory, they made a point to point out that Sora's voice couldn't reach Kairi, right? Sora's voice couldn't reach Kairi. But maybe Kairi's voice can reach Sora. And maybe that's part of her power as a princess of heart. But I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Maybe this is what I sound like.
I guess you think you can psych me out by saying really random stuff.
But maybe there's something to what I'm saying. And maybe this rotary phone really will be a way for both sides of reality to interface with one another. We won't know till we know. Ain't that right? I mean, the letters reached him and Riku in the land of darkness. Yes, exactly. And this is what I say to people. All right, soapbox time. I hope you're all ready. This is what I tell people where I feel as though, don't get me wrong, I'm excited at the prospect of Kairi being more involved in the action and more involved in the battles. And again, in Kingdom Hearts 3, she did get herself involved. And in Remind, she's battling alongside Sora against Xehanort. And, you know, in Melody and Memory, she had a really cool action scene where she's shown that she's growing as a wielder, but she can't quite hang with Xehanort alone, even though that really was sort of a manifestation of her own trauma. Anyway, point aside, I think a lot of people, they look over a lot of the powers that Kairi has simply because they're not combat related, right? We can all look at Naminé and see how special and powerful and useful she is, even though she's never wielded a Keyblade in her life, right? But everybody can love and respect her for her powers and how she plays a role. But for some reason, when Kairi, from whom Naminé comes from, does those same things, people tend to ignore him, right? She's the one who saved Sora in Kingdom Hearts 1. Her Princess of Heart powers brought him back to life. Didn't just bring him back to life, can convert him from a heartless back to a person, right? And then in Kingdom Hearts 2, she was the one to help reunite Sora and Riku and help Sora to see that who Riku really was, right? She had that sort of empathic or empath kind of power, you know? And then, man, in Kingdom Hearts 3, she saves all of existence by holding on to Sora, by holding on to him tightly. And again, in Kingdom Hearts 2, her message in a bottle is what brought Riku and Sora back from the darkness. It was Kairi who ignited in Roxas's memory, right? Don't forget that. When Roxas was able to interface with Kairi to remember Sora and everything like that, like Kairi's influence and her powers are always in play and they're always affecting the turn of events. I can keep going, but I won't. Maybe I will, but they're always playing a role. And again, two things can be true. Kairi can be significant and important with her impact through the series, and we can also want her to be a more impactful Keyblade wielder. And I say this as somebody who my dream game is playing as Sora, Riku, and Kairi in one party, all three Keyblade wielders. You can want that, but we can also reflect on, love, and give credit to how much Kairi has done. You have to think about it. Sora gave up. Remember that. In Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora gave up. You know, when he throws his hands on his head and he's crying, I'm nothing without my friends. Riku sacrifices himself, and as the darkness is coming, Sora looks like a deer in the headlights and he gets taken. Sora gave up. You know who never gave up? Do you know who never let go? Do you know who never stopped believing? Kyrie. Aqua gave up. Sora gave up. Kyrie and Riku, but especially Kyrie, never gave up. And that does not get the respect and love that it deserves. I fucking said what I said. And with that, did you guys know that Kingdom Hearts Reconnect is right around the corner? That is right, ladies and gentlemen. KH Guides, one of the greatest creators in this community. You know what? Let me get that link for you without doxing myself. Throw it into the chat right now. Then I'll get back to yelling about Kyrie. Don't worry. You guys know how I do things here. khguides.com/reconnect. All right, guys. So, in-person event for Kingdom Hearts fan being hosted by KH Guides. I think you're going to have to copy and put that into your browser. And guides, if you want to drop your link in here, you can. Or one of the mods can do it. You know what, actually? Yeah, just put that into your browser. Anyway, in-person event being hosted by KH Guides. I'm going to be there. Lots of your favorite creators are going to be there. I know guys like the Spaghetti Brothers are going. I think guys like Regular Pat and Damo are going. I don't know. I don't quite know who's going. But I know I'm going. I know Andy Brew's going. Treehouse is going. Sid's going. Lots of fun people are going. Lands the Master's going. KH Guides will obviously be there. If you would like to join us for a good time, a good weekend of chilling, talking Kingdom Hearts, having a good time, that's your place to do it. All right. Now, thank you for giving him the shout out on Twitch too. Tell you, Lauro Hugen, one of the best mods, if not the best mod in the game. But again, thank you, Lauro, for giving an actual link in the chat. So, check it, guys, check it. I know I just went on that Kyrie rant. Okay, and I just want to put it out there. If there's anybody out there that wants to debate me on how useful Kyrie is, I will happily do it. I think Kingdom Hearts fans would love that. I think it could be fun. But I will always stand by that Kyrie does not get enough credit. That doesn't mean that she can't be more fully utilized or utilized more. But let's go. Did you see my super chat? No, I missed it. 1 second. I'll be able to pull that up. 1 second. Let's go back. Josh C says, it would be amazing if Sora dreams about Kyrie the way Roxas dreams about Sora in KH2. Yeah, something like that. You know what's crazy? You know what Kingdom Hearts hasn't done that I wish they would have done? Playable dreams. I mean, what am I fucking talking about? Dream drop distance. So they have done this. But hear me out. I mean this a little bit differently. Like, I'll debate you any time of the week. Oak Tutor, slide into those DMs. Anyway, I think it would be so cool, and I think Kingdom Hearts, given its nature, could really do a lot of fun with this. Like, I would love to play through one of the characters having a nightmare. Right? Like, imagine playable nightmares. Which, shout out to Sonny Novus. Nightmares are going to be, if you follow his line of logic, which I do, nightmares are going to be very big in the future, especially when you consider they originated in Daybreak Town. Master educated on them. So I think it would be so cool to play through like a trippy nightmare. You know, I know Dream Drop Distance played with this a bit, but imagine like a nightmare more familiar with how we have nightmares, where like literally like random things are happening to you, and it feels unfair and it feels claustrophobic. Like the gameplay starts to mess with you because it doesn't have to follow conventional rules because you're in this like really weird dreamscape. And then when you inevitably fail, like Sora can like wake up in a cold sweat and be like, I don't know. I think that's something Kingdom Hearts would pull off really, really well. You know? Like, I love their idea of, like, making nightmares, like, a tangible thing, a tangible enemy. But imagine, like, nightmares so powerful and encompassing that you literally experience the nightmare. Would be electric, to say the least. Okay. So Silent Hill, never played Silent Hill. But if that's what Silent Hill's about, hey, man. Sounds like a good time. Okay, so this phone, we talked about it. Way to communicate with the dead. Probably a way for the realities to interface with each other. Now, what should we go on next? All right. You know what? Let's talk to us. Let's check out our boy. Let's check out our boy here. All right? And let's pull up the comparison. All right. I'm so glad we have a new Sora for these thumbnails now. I don't have to use the same freaking Sora for every thumbnail. All right. I don't know about you guys, but this is another example where I'm like, it was worth the wait. Now, there's not as big of a gap between Sora's glow up and Strelitzia's glow up. I think Strelitzia got more of a glow up. But I think Sora looks phenomenal here. I think he's never looked better. I've got to be honest, I'm almost a little upset that this is just the unreality version of him. Like, I wish this was just him. He looks phenomenal. He's grown in. Look at it. Oh, somebody's been working chest day. Look at the necklace, boys and girls. Somebody's been benching. Somebody's been on the incline bench. I'm telling you. He's been inclining. I'm telling you. Look at that. I'm telling you, he's been lifting. He's been lifting while they've been cooking over at Square Enix. I'm telling you. Our boy looks good though, huh? Our boy looks good. I think I think Strelitzia technically had the better glow up, but I still think he looks, the faces are less puffy. I think that's what I'm noticing between them both, right? Is the faces are just a little bit like, they're like slimmer. They're more like, there's more shape to their faces. You know what I mean? Their faces just have so much more shape. Whereas here, again, there was like a puffiness to it. You know? The necklace looks weird when you look at his previous models in comparison to this one. Yeah, I just think the whole thing looks better. I think his outfit looks better. I think his hair, the hair is probably what's changed the most, actually. If you look at the difference in hair, I feel like the hair has gotten darker, though that could just be the lighting, but it's more downward. It's less up and spiky, and it's like the hair, gravity is pulling his hair down. You know what I'm saying? He's starting to look like Noctis. Well, again, man, you got to remember, you can go back to those old interviews. Noctis was made with Sora in mind. Like, Noctis was made to be Sora's mirror image. So it's not surprising that he looks like this. You know? Hey, Landy, do you think Square is going to make Missing Link as just a story like back cover? I wouldn't mind. We discussed all of that in the last episode. If you want like my full thoughts on that, in layman's terms, not in layman's terms, the Too Long Didn't Read, there's many approaches they could take. I think that would be a good approach. I'd prefer them to do what they did with Dark Road and just upload the cutscenes episodically. Just do that. I do miss the cartoony aesthetic, but this is okay too. You're going to get the cartoony aesthetic back. Remember, this is just the unreality art style. The art style is going to shift when he goes back to where he came from, you know? Sora grew into Mr. Steelio girl. Yeah, I mean, look. Our little boy's grown up. Check him out. All right. But let's glow up aside. You know what? Let me put a poll in the chat. I'm going to put a poll in the chat. Will it let me? For some reason, they make like polling is harder to do now. I don't know why. I don't think it's letting me. Whatever. We don't need it. I was going to poll you guys. I don't need to. Chat, let me ask you. Who got the better glow up? Sora or Strelitzia? That's what I want to know. Who do y'all think got the better glow up? Do you think it was Sora or do you think it was Strelitzia? Someone should edit this picture of Sora and put black hair and yellow highs. It's Vanitas. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that when we get to this image, right? Because this is very, very Vanitas-esque what's going on here. But I actually want to focus more on this image for right now. So, I think, for instance, I think what we're seeing here at the bottom might be very chronological, almost like a comic panel. But I want to start here. Actually, let me keep these two up, actually. Here we go. This seems like the same scene, almost. These two panels look like the same scene. I've seen a lot of Soras in the chat. Most of you are saying Sora. I'm not going to lie. I would have voted Strelitzia, but it looks like Sora's running away with it in the chat. But this is just one of those moments where I disagree with the chat. I disagree with you all. Therefore, I'm canceled. The Landy party is over. I've been canceled. Do with that what you will. Treehouse says, I have a job now, so I can give money again. Thank you so much for the amazing content, man. The voice of reason for real. Yo, Treehouse, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. If you're not following Treehouse on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, all right? If you're not following Treehouse, I can't do business with you. We can't do business. Plain and simple. It can't be done. It cannot be done. But what's up, Treehouse? It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. Getting back to this. So I think this is a similar scene, if not the same scene. This is clearly someone's like appeared. Somebody's like appeared before Sora. And that to me is what that's giving me a vibe for. And he's seeing it. Now let's scoot on over. Let's scoot over to here. Okay? Sorry, Landy, you're wrong. Unmod me if you so desire. I'm canceled. Landy's been canceled. Put it out on Twitter. I've officially been canceled. It's official. I look forward to that day. I'm not even lying. I think it'll be a fun day. Okay. Let's check this out here. So, somebody's appeared. That, like, the smoke's going to clear and someone's going to be there. We can't really see anything. I feel like almost like a portal's being summoned. I think Empowered Muse, who everybody should follow, mentioned on Twitter that this could be the astral plane from Missing Link, sort of being summoned or being conjured up, right? This could be the astral plane where somebody is appearing. I'm going to posit a different theory. And let me pull this up for a second. Let me pull this up. Where you at, bro? Where you at? Here we go. Let me put that on. Get rid of this. Okay. Give me 1 second here, guys. Let's look here. So, take note of Yozora's surroundings. See this? As Sora is going to move from like one plane of existence to the other, he's going to move out of Sora's dreams back to unreality. Look at the sort of colors and the aura that's surrounding him. You see this? He's moving across realities, and look at the sort of lights and the colors that are being conjured up, right? And now, wait for it. Maybe. What's the best way I could freeze frame? What's the best freeze frame I could get? Right? Perfect. Oop, no. Let's do it like this. So check it. You see what I'm getting at? I don't know. It could just be lighting. It could just be a coincidence. But I don't know. I'm just a crackhead YouTuber. But that's what I think may be going on here. Right? I'm going to take that one step further. I'm going to take that one step further. Here is that blue light again, right? Here is that blue light again. There's been a lot of discussion over what's going on in this picture, okay? There's been a lot of discussion about what exactly is taking place here. Now, it could be that this is Sora attacking, this is someone else attacking. It could be Sora's down here, and this is like the military attacking. It could, like, remember Yozora gets referred to as commander? So maybe this is like Yozora and the troops attacking. Do you think we'll switch between Sora and Yozora? I think Verum Rex is going to be its own thing. So I think we may have a Yozora segment where he plays him, but I think any elongated Yozora gameplay will happen in a Verum Rex game. Now, getting back to over here, it's hard to say exactly what's going on here, but I can't help but feel like all of this is Yozora. Everything you see here, from this with the blue to this with the blue to this, it all sort of appears to me like this is a Yozora coded event taking place. Now again, it could be the astral plane, and for all we know, Brain could appear, or like, you know, anybody could be at the other end of this. But again, I would just bring us back to that this sort of color, this sort of blue is what we associate with Yozora. It's like, right, think about the sort of color theory here. Like Sora is very warm colors with Sora. Red, his hair is like brown. It's warm, right? Yozora, you get like cold, cool, blues. It's like sort of silver, icy hair, right? You have cools and warms. That's the contract between Sora and Yozora, a day sky and a night sky. Sora represents a sort of like warmer, brighter aura. Yozora represents a sort of cooler, colder aura. And then again, when we flash back to here, that's kind of the contrast I see going on here. Now again, could be the Quadratum military for all we know. Could be that. But I can't help but feel like what we're seeing here is very Yozora coded. Very Yozora coded. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it. Now, there's one photo we haven't touched yet, and it's one that I did break down on a video earlier, but I only touched on a few things. We're going to go a lot deeper here. Now, first, let's go over the chat a little bit. Loro says, hear me out. The combat UI has a section we can't see. Okay, so this is actually relevant to the photo, so I'll pull this back up. Hear me out. The combat UI has an element we can't see. The UI has an arrow like in KH4. I believe that's what he's referencing right here, folks. What if they are actually implementing FF summons and the magic sparkle stuff is just from Sora finishing a summon? Okay. I don't think so. That's a good theory. Lauro, this doesn't appear to be mid-combat. You know, there's no, that interface isn't here. That's not good theory, but I don't know. Oh, you have a reference image. Excuse me. Oh, okay. I'm going to pull up the reference image just to be fair. Here, let's back this up. So kind of like this is what you're saying. So it could be the end of a... I see, okay. I see. It's not. It's after the combat. See, I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down now. I'm not sold, but I see it. Okay. Let's get back to this. Let's move me over here. Let's see what else chat is cooking. I think the fog is an indication of either the monster falling and causing smoke, or it's a dream. Okay, so it's sort of creating a dreamscape type of ethereal atmosphere. Silver Dash says the lighting on the Strelitzia screenshot is insane. Lighting is everything. Folks, lighting is everything. Okay. Copium release date gets announced for this winter. I honestly, I do think the next time we see this game, at the very least, they have a release window. They may not have a release date, but honestly, they can't show us this game again unless they can tell us spring 2026, winter 2027. Like, we need something. They can't just say coming soon, now in development. We need a window. So I don't think we see this game until we have a window. The choice of gold chains over silver that would relate to the Keyblade is interesting, isn't it? Does anyone else think she looks ominous or not? She looks mischievous, right? She looks very mischievous. Very, very mischievous. I definitely do not deny that. Okay. Let's... Aren't the chain spells only for the Keyblade Masters? I'm telling you, this was one of my first theories on the channel. Xehanort bequeathed Sora. You're right. It's only for the Keyblade Masters. You're right. But I believe Xehanort truly bequeathed Sora. The last time we saw these sort of chains, these gold chains, were in the Xehanort Limit Cut boss fight. Right? The Xehanort Limit Cut boss fight. That's the last time we saw these sorts of chains. So I really believe the reason why you're seeing all this has everything to do with Xehanort. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. I don't know. Xehanort was training Sora, not deliberately, but in a very, like, patterned meta sense. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Her dressing is different from Union Cross. Even hair is different, and no purple necklace showing her royalty. She looks how she did in the trailer because it's a goddamn trailer image. I don't know, man. She looks... If you can't see that she looks way different, I don't know, man. I could agree to disagree that she looks way different here compared to the trailer. Way different. But getting back to this is a consequence of Xehanort literally, like, bequeathing that Keyblade to Sora and saying, very well done. You know? Terra! Terra! You missed the turn for the drive-thru. And I forgot to wipe my ass. And this toilet paper will be the arc that sustains me. Anyway, that aside, one disappointing thing, I really prefer when the UI uses the sort of hand-drawn aesthetic. The CGI aesthetic, I'm a KH4 supremacist. I think it's one of the things Kingdom Hearts 3 did wrong. They should go back to that sort of hand-drawn aesthetic here on the interface. All right, now, I talked about these guys in the video. We'll get to them. But I want to talk about these sickos. I want to talk about these sickos. So, I've seen a lot. Xehanort's my boy. You understand me? Xehanort's my boy. Okay? I love Xehanort. He's one of my favorite characters. I think he's coming back. I've been saying that. I was saying that before it was cool. Okay? I was saying that before the 14th life to see all the world's bait that they dropped. All right. Well, I'm not going to break an arm jerking myself off now. I'm going to get back into this. All right. Let's talk about this. I have seen a lot of theories about this. Why these enemies look the way they do. I want to give a shout out to my boy Xander. Xander pointed out, you know what, actually? Let me actually pull up his... We're going to give my boy Xander the credit. Let me pull him up. Let me pull up my boy here. Shout out to Xander. Actually, I got two Xander theories for y'all. My boy's been cooking. Let me drag this over here. Okay. Drop that down. Okay. So check it out. And you know what? Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys could see a little bit better. Check it out. So, as we saw... Okay, and for those who may not be in the know, I'm going to be thorough about this, actually. I'm going to be quite thorough about this. So, there's no way to understand what Xander's going to talk about and I'm telling you, my boy Xander knows his stuff, without talking about Fabula Nova Crystallis. Okay, so some of you might be familiar with the term Fabula Nova Crystallis. This is for those who may not be familiar. Now, Nomura is the creator and the storyboarder and the writer and the concept, the director of Kingdom Hearts. He ultimately dictates the story, right? But Kazushige Nojima is the one who writes the scripts. Kazushige Nojima is the one who works with Nomura on a lot of the writing. Now, Kazushige Nojima, around the time of FF13, started to create a compatible lore that went by Fabula Nova Crystallis. Final Fantasy Versus 13, where Yozora comes from, Final Fantasy 13, and there was one more. And Final Fantasy Type 0 all shared this one unifying lore. That's what this was created for. It was supposed to be a unifying lore that could help connect all of the Final Fantasies and Kingdom Hearts. Now, we were told, even though Versus 13 got changed, Nomura was taken off the project, became FF15, Kingdom Hearts and Versus 13 were supposed to connect. So the Fabula Nova Crystallis lore was eventually going to make its way into Kingdom Hearts. And for those that have played Type O, you'll see that that clock tower looks just like the Daybreak Town clock tower. It's all there. It's all there. The Fabula Nova Crystallis lore from Versus 13, 13 Type 0 was always going to make its way into Kingdom Hearts, and this is the first we are seeing of it from this alternate ending during the Limit Cut episode. Now, Fabula Nova Crystallis, Final Fantasy Versus 13. Now that we're caught up, let's go to my boy over here. Let's go to my boy Xander, who points out that these enemies do bear a resemblance. And here, let's move this over. Make this a little bit more visible for you guys. Pull this out. Okay, doesn't go much further than that. Perfect. So if we take a look between these guys, there is a similarity in their design. It's not one for one. It's not shot for shot. But the Seiths, I think that's a better way to enunciate. The Seiths, who that's what this enemy is, seems to bear some resemblance to the enemy that we're seeing here. Now, I'm going to take this one step further. Now, give me some time here to flip the interface back in our favor. There we go. So again, we see the resemblance. I'm going to throw a Seith. Thank you, Flygon. Pronounced like teeths, Seiths. So the first time I said it was actually closer. Let me think now. Where was I at? So I've got another one for you that I've seen thrown around. Not connecting all the Final Fantasies, just 13's games, Type 0 versus Fabula Nova Crystallis. I could have sworn, Umbra, that they were meant to start connecting all the games that Creative Studio 1 was working on. That because, again, multiple studios work on the games, I'm pretty certain the plan was Fabula Nova Crystallis was going to be central to whatever Creative Studio 1 made. You're right, not all Final Fantasies, right? Studio 3 works on them too. They're going to be separate. But I do believe everything that Creative Studio 1 was going to work on was going to sort of make itself compatible with that lore. I keep saying Type O. I know it's Type 0. I apologize for that. I always pronounce my zeros as O's. It's a bad habit. I know. All right. Going back here. Right here. This also looks like the Infinity Gauntlet. What if this is a callback or a call to Marvel? And this is like Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlets. I have seen that posited too. I actually think Xander's idea is a little bit more plausible, but I think the idea that this could be a reference to Thanos or the Infinity Gauntlets also works. I've got one for you. One second. Let me see if I can get the right image here. We got to make sure I get the right image. Come on now. The good people of YouTube deserve to know what I'm thinking in a fluent manner. You know what? I think this will be all right. I think this will be all right. All right. Hear me out. Let's pull this over. This is Titan from Final Fantasy 16. Now, the hands are open. I'm trying to find an image. Oh, it's a little off screen. 1 second. Let's move this over. I'll shrink it down even more, honestly, so we can get a better side-by-side look. I'm trying to find an image where his fists are closed. Because I promise you, with closed fists, you'll see even more of a resemblance. Give me a second. Let me see if I can find it. Because I'm telling you guys, if Titan over here has his fists closed, I believe you even get a bit of a glow in the center with certain moves. So give me a second. And don't forget that the Kingdom Hearts team helped the Final Fantasy 16 team with their boss battles, which Titan was. So the Kingdom Hearts team worked on this Titan boss battle. So they're more connected than you might think. All right, let me try a different search engine to see if I can hunt down a picture with those fists closed. Because I'm telling you, there's a bit of a resemblance there. I'm telling you, chat. Where is it? Come on now. Your boy is scrolling. I might not be able to find it, and I don't want to eat up more airtime of me just scrolling and looking for it. I think you guys can pick up my point and see what I'm getting at without me having to be too on the nose here. But I think it also is possible that this might have something to do with Titan. But, allow me to say, I find Xander's theory to still be the most plausible. Yeah, it could be the Gigas. It could be in relation to the Gigas. But let's, I hope he doesn't mind me doing this. I would actually like to discuss another theory of Xander's. Because again, my boy's been cooking. And this is actually, for those who may have watched any of the podcasts that him and I did together, this is actually a theory him and I covered. But again, it was his imagination that manifested it. Check this out. He says, wanted to also mention this as I haven't seen anybody touch upon it. There's a sign in KH4's Quadratum for a Libra watch with the slogan, keep track of your mind and body. There it is right there. Keep track of your mind and body. And then you think about Yazora's not in his actual body, the nameless star, they took away my name, everything about me, obviously works with the themes, right? Sora is now wearing a watch. They could have reworked the design. Very interesting. So again, Libra, right, seems to be a big deal. Keep track of your mind and body. And then when we hop on over to Sora, boom. Boom. He's wearing a watch. Now, correct me and Xander if we're wrong about this, but Sora's never worn a watch before. I don't even think Sora knows what a watch is. I don't know, chat. How are we feeling about that? How are we feeling about that one, chat? Whoa! Wait! All right. The design is different, and Xander did mention they could have changed the design. Hear me out. Hear me out. What if this is how the Master's tracking Sora? What if the Master is behind these watches? 1 second. 1 second. I just want to check something. What are the masters behind these watches? And it's his way of tracking everyone. Because that's what the master's about, right? He has ways of tracking things. The Book of Prophecy, so he can track history. Like, the master's about keeping tabs on everybody. You know what I'm saying? That's the master's sort of MO, is to keep tabs on everybody, have a way to access everybody, waypoints. You know what I'm saying? You hear me out? And don't forget that he was so intrigued by this world, he may have immersed himself in it and found that, like, it's not just about magic, it's like magitech is now a thing. Using tech and magic together to create like this Libra watch. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. One second. Hear me out. 1 second, okay? Hang with me, guys. Hang with me. Just stay with me, folks. I promise I'm cooking. I promise I'm cooking. I told y'all, I'm cooking right now. Just give me a second. Just give me a second to confirm a few things before I fly off the goddamn handle. Just give me a second. I swear. I just don't want to jump to conclusions. Okay, guys. You ready? I'll start with this. Libra is the 7th zodiac sign. You follow? Libra is the 7th zodiac sign. Okay? Not only that, the element associated with Libra is air, or perhaps sky. So 7, sky. Okay, that's the element. Sky, 7th of the zodiac. Now give me a second. I'm falling further and further down this rabbit hole. Libra is often associated with the scales of justice. Okay. Just give me one more second. Give me one more second. One more second. I'm doing a little bit more Libra deep dive right now. The ruling, I don't know what to do with this, but maybe chat will. The planet associated with Libra is Venus. Maybe you guys can figure out what to do with that one. Off the dome, I got nothing. But all I've got is scales of justice, 7th of the zodiac, and the element of air. I see you, Silver Dash. I see you. The air would also connect to Ventus too. So again, the idea that Libra, number 7, element air, might have something to do with Sora, sky. Maybe it's there. Maybe it's there. And then again, the scales of justice, which maybe that comes into play later in the game. But all right, let's reel it back in now. Let's reel it back in. I've got other fun theories I wanted to share with you guys from some of those sickos. Oops. Accidentally opened my own episode here. Who else did I want to show you guys? Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's something I definitely wanted to do. Shout out to Max. I put this exact theory up on YouTube earlier today. But if we look at the time, 5:06 a.m., he actually beat me to the punch. But basically, he had the similar theory that I did, which I guess we can get into now. Here. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. So, these guys, huh? These guys down here are looking pretty humanoid. More humanoid than any Heartless we've ever seen, right? Like, we've seen Nobodies. Obviously, they're very humanoid. They always have been. And there have been humanoid type looking Heartless before, but these are very clearly the most human looking Heartless we've ever seen. I don't think many come close. So it creates a very... How do I put this? As Loro says, those Heartless also have KH4 Sora's hairstyle for some reason. Okay. All right. I'm gonna let Max say it, because Max said it better than me. So we're gonna pull him up. We're gonna pull my boy up here. Okay? Recall this conversation the Master of Masters and Lushu had together. Nomura is a Libra? No way, Kid Q. No way, Kid Q. Nomura is a Libra? Bro, there it is. There's that missing piece. That missing link. Oh God. All right. Anyway, getting back to this. In this scene, the Master of Masters and Lushu are talking about the Master's old world, his young days, when he became a wielder and stuff like that. So when talking about that era, he says, to answer your question, if I had to call them something, monsters would be pretty accurate. But they looked like us. Oh, so they were human? To which the Master says like something like not exactly or not quite. But yeah, these human-looking boys, now we know. Landy had to... Oh yeah, we talked about the phone. Don't worry, we went in on the phone. The phone got its due. The phone most certainly got its due. But again, when we look down here, these humanoid Heartless, maybe they have something to do with the Heartless that are from the Master's time. Maybe this is just a new design. Maybe it's meant to resemble Sora, because Sora is the reason the Heartless have come to this world. You know? Jeez, I'm yawning like crazy. Here. So, then getting back to, again, like we talked about earlier, Libra. Maybe that has something to do with what's going on here. We need a Master of Masters origin game. I'd absolutely love it. I would absolutely love it. But yeah, we could be looking at the original Heartless conjured by Sora's darkness. Like, there's a lot of things that this could be. But now, I want to discuss what we're looking at here. Because again, there's so much to discuss. So check it. Check it. And let me make sure I get the Twitter chat pulled up. So check it out. There's a lot of things to be excited about here. For one, the obvious. It looks like this is where you swap between your Keyblades, or perhaps you swap between a different kind of weapon. But if I were to guess, we're going to be able to swap between Keyblades mid-fight, and here's an icon that kind of indicates as such. Let's move over to here. As stated before, by using this arrow, you're going to open up a new menu. That menu will likely contain things like summon or shortcuts, things of the like. Now, moving on to here. This is a very nice touch, showing you exactly how many items you have left in your inventory. Mwah, chef's kiss. Love it. And then again, we knew this was going to say scrap and build or something like that. So build is this, again, a very new thing to Kingdom Hearts. I'm going to guess this. Much in the same way Yozora had the ability to steal abilities, steal weapons, steal attacks, I think you, the player, are going to have the autonomy or the ability to customize Sora based on the abilities of other enemies. I think it's possible that, how do I put this? I think it's possible that every enemy ability you see, you'll be able to obtain and add to Sora's moveset. Or you might have a custom Keyblade, right? There might be like one custom Keyblade, and you get to customize the moveset for that exact Keyblade. I think that would be amazing. But again, the prospect of build that we see down here, the possibilities are endless, sickos and normies. Very goated quality of life change for sure. I'm excited to learn more about it, you know? Anything to elevate the experience. That's where I'm at. Excuse me. I very, very much believe, oh, that's the other thing. Check this out. This looks like a meter. You see this up here? This looks like a meter that gets charged. You know what I'm saying? I don't think this is just simple design. I think what you're seeing here is a meter. That could be the new shot lock meter. Oh, wait. Let's double check our work. Nope, we have a shock lock meter right there. So that's not what that is. So, looking here, this is a meter that charges something else. Maybe there's special moves, special attacks, right? Something like that. There's a grayed out diamond. That's right, yeah, if we look here, there's a grayed out diamond, almost as if this is just short of filling this up. And then maybe this fills up, and again, you get like a special attack you can do. Or you charged it enough, and now you could steal an enemy's attack. Much like Yuzora, you know? Definitely our form change gauge like in KH3, but now it's a bar instead of 3 arrows. That's probably... You're right. You're 100% right. I think Loro is right about that. I think Loro nailed it, honestly. Advice to get motivated to go back and try KH3 again. Loved 1 and 2, just couldn't get into 3. Play Kingdom Hearts 3 on a tough difficulty. I really think what trips up some people with 3's gameplay is that the standard mode of KH3 is so easy, you, the player, are not incentivized to utilize all the bells and whistles the combat offers you. You really can get through standard mode KH3 mostly tapping X. And I do not think that's the best way to experience a Kingdom Hearts game. So if you had a little trouble getting into KH3, which I actually think is the best game in the series, I'll die on that hill. Doesn't mean I don't love KH2. I do, with all my heart. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But play KH3 on Proud or Critical. For me, playing Kingdom Hearts 3 on Critical mode solidified it. Because, I'm with Trapsy. I actually think Proud is too easy, too. I actually think Kingdom Hearts 3 has to be played on Critical. Because you're forced to parry. If you're not parrying, you're not utilizing all of the combat. If you're not using shot lock and air step all the time, you're not utilizing that combat. Like, the joy of Kingdom Hearts 3's combat is that it feels like Dragon Ball Z with swords. Right? Because air step lets you zoom around. Like, I see so many people playing it, and when they're in a mob fight, they're like running and dodge rolling to the other side of the fight. It's like, you should just be air stepping. Just air step over there, beat the shit out of that guy, and then air step over there in the air, take care of the aerial enemy, and then air step back to the ground and zip to that ground enemy. Like, there's so many weapons at Sora's disposal in Kingdom Hearts 3, and I don't want to hear the floaty, okay? I don't want to hear the floaty. If you use air step, you will cease to feel floaty. I promise you. If you get in the habit of using air step in all these mob fights, in your boss fights, like I see people, like at the beginning of the game, they're fighting, and again, there's no wrong way to play, okay? There's no wrong way to eat a fucking Reese's, I know. I see so many people when they're like fighting the Titans and they're like running to get all the way up. I'm like, what are you doing? Just air step to their face. Just air step to the face and smack them up. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God. That's my only point. I guess there's so many between shot lock and air step and the parrying mechanic. There's so many tools in Kingdom Hearts 3 to make the combat feel so so engaging. Like, I swear, man. I swear, I love Kingdom Hearts 3's combat. And when I look at KH4, it looks like they're building on everything KH3 did. I'm telling you all right now, it's going to be gravy. It's going to be fire. It's going to be gravy. Whatever the kids say these days. It's going to be great. It will be greatness. I know that. Okay. Agree about critical. It made the game more exciting using everything, but some parts were so frustrating. Snowface, the 3 Xehanorts. But the 3 Xehanorts should be frustrating. Right? I agree about the snow race. It should be frustrating. I think KH3 and FF7 Rebirth have the same problem, that the mini games break up the pacing. I don't think there's anything wrong with mini games. I love mini games, particularly ones that have an arcade style fashion where you got to get a high score. But it's like, let the mini games be player choice. That would be my advice too for KH4 is don't make mini games mandatory. Make them player choice. Because the worst parts of every Kingdom Hearts game are when they try to mix up the gameplay for no reason. But I also think that's where platforming and why they're focusing so much on platforming is because that's a great way to break up the gameplay and keep that gameplay loop fresh, right? I think in KH3, they tried to make the gameplay loop fresh by inserting the occasional minigame. I don't think that's the move. I think the move is to let minigames more often than not be player choice and create really cool platforming sections in order to break up the gameplay. Gummy missions. Listen, I love the KH3 gummy ship, but then again, I'm a big Star Fox fan. There's a huge Star Fox void in my life. The Kingdom Hearts 3 gummy ships filled that void for me. So maybe I'm a special case, but it is what it is. Okay. When do you think we will get KH4 realistically? I don't know shit, but I think realistically, you shouldn't expect it any earlier than April of 2026. That's what I'll say. I think the earliest we get Kingdom Hearts 4 is spring 2026. Now, this isn't just me. Jay says, I can't forgive Kate Sith's wonky gameplay segment, says Jay. Jay, I agree with you. It boggles my mind when you create Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, one of the greatest action RPGs of all time. I'll go that far. Of all time. And you feel the need to break up the gameplay with these senseless minigames, throwing boxes. It's like, what are we doing? The reason why Kingdom Hearts 2 is so beloved is because it's really absent of that kind of stuff. Kingdom Hearts 2 is so secure in what it is, where it's like, yes, we are a hallway of combat. That's what we are. A hallway of combat. Not a lot of minigames, not a lot of platforming. We are secure in what we are. And I think that's one of the reasons KH2 is so beloved. Because it's very secure in what it is as a game. However, I actually do prefer the Kingdom Hearts 3 approach and the Kingdom Hearts 1 approach to have that combat platforming hybrid. I just think they're yet to perfect it. But Kingdom Hearts 4 appears to be making a bid to perfect it. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like to me. Kingdom Hearts 4, same day as GTA 6. I actually think that would be really good marketing. There's not a lot of overlap in that audience. I think it would be great. Nah, KH2 had the lock shot and barrel. But even that wasn't so bad. Even that wasn't so bad. Can you really, do you think getting the Ultima Keyblade in KH4 will be extremely challenging? I don't think it'll be as challenging as KH3, but I think it will be challenging. I think it will be challenging. Okay. Let me see here. Whoa! We have 151 people in here right now? Hey, listen. Shout out to y'all. You could be watching anybody yap about Kingdom Hearts. A lot of love to you that y'all are in here. That's the biggest Twitch raids aside, that's the biggest live audience we've ever had on this channel. And things are slow. and things are slow. You realize what a party it's going to be in here when things are caking? Do you realize? Do you realize? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. But let's keep the party going, okay? Still plenty to talk about. Let's see what chat's getting on about. Let's see. Pull this up. Bam. I feel like Missing Link will come back. I think we're going to see those cutscenes. I think the cutscenes ultimately make their way back. Here. You guys would probably rather look at this than my ugly mug. So let's pull this up. Yeah, let's let these images run the day down here. All right. Like the stream, y'all. Yeah, definitely smash that like button. Definitely smash the like button. Please, that almighty algorithm. Algorithm. Please, the almighty algorithm. It is funny that we have gotten Moogles in every era. I hope Unreality Moogles... I want to see the Unreality Moogles design. That's where I'm at. The first thing I'm going to post after beating KH4 is where's KH5? You know, we talked about this on the last episode, but I think now with Missing Link getting the can, I think it's possible we only get numbered titles from here on out. I think it's possible we only get numbered titles from here on out. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I do think we end up with nothing but numbered titles in our future. Although, I think the occasional... don't get me wrong, I still want... Like, I think a Kingdom Hearts fighting game would be really good. I think a Warriors game would be really good. I think even a beat-em-up could be really good. But I think ultimately the team's going to be really focused on getting as much of the Lost Masters arc out as possible. You know what I'm saying? Do you think we will see baby Kairi in KH4 and Sora might help her get to the DI? Destiny Islands? Or do you think the timeline would not allow something like that? Hillary, that's actually really cool. You know, I think maybe something can be done for that. It's a good idea. It's definitely a really good idea. Do you think the zodiac signs Aqua saw in the Realm of Darkness is connected to unreality? Gollum Baggins, hold on. Somebody refresh my memory. Where are the zodiac signs in the Realm of Darkness? Because we were talking about Libra before. If somebody can help me get to that, either like a timestamp on a cutscene or an image or where to look, because it's starting to come back to me. You know what I'm saying? They are on the mirror. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can find this. Let me see if I can find this. 1 second. The mirror room. Copy. The mirror room in Fragmentary Passage. Okay. Okay. We're going hunting. We're going hunting, gang. We're going hunting. We're going hunting. All right. Oh, shut up, Jensen. Need to have a word with you, my friend. Okay, let's pull this up. We're going hunting. We're going hunting. Okie dokie. Let's find that mirror, huh? Okay, is this... Uh-huh. Let's get as good a picture of it as we can. Okay. Okay. We have found it. But why is Libra number 6 on here? Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, all 12 are here. They seem to be a little bit out of order because we did look up Libra's supposed to be 7. Wait a minute. There's a repeat. Am I looking at the right mirror? That's not it. Okay. But it's weird. There are some zodiac signs here, but not all of them. But you guys are saying there's a different one? Let me see what chat's getting on about. It would appear in the middle of the world. Okay. I'm still not sure. If you guys are saying this isn't it, it would appear in the middle of the world. The zodiac symbols are collectible in the game in order to access the secret boss. Huh. 1 second. So you can collect them. Give me a second. Let's go to Libra. Through Western Mirror on Large Island. The world within is where you get it. Through Western Mirror on Large Island. Give me 1 second here. Okay. That leads to a series of battles. Ah, okay. Give me a second. 1 second. That's Scorpio. It's in the same movie. Yeah, there's a different one. Give me 1 second. I'll look one more thing up. I'm going to look something up real quick. So, the secret boss is Zodiac Phantom Aqua is what she's called. Zodiac Phantom Aqua. Might that have something to do? Oh. 1 second. I don't know. Let's bring this back. What if these are little Sora phantoms? What if these are Nah, it's a stretch. Phantom Soras is a stretch. I thought about it for a second. I don't think so. I think we've reached a dead end about the Libra thing. It's interesting that they're in the realm of darkness with Aqua. I'm trying to find some way to connect it to what we were talking about earlier, but I can't find a way to string those threads together. If you guys can string those threads together, you let me know. Do you think the Master of Masters sees Luxu as his best friend and little brother, even though he called him a traitor? I think that Luxu is the Master's star pupil. I think so. The combat picture looks very early in development. It scares me. I don't think so. I think the original trailer was much more early in development. My kind of theory right now, but I feel like these creatures might be a Darkling equivalence, but with unreality humans instead of Keyblade wielders. I think that's not a bad idea either. Okay. Let me see here. Luxu is doing everything he was supposed to. Luxu's the best character in Kingdom Hearts. That's my opinion. I think Luxu's the best character in all of Kingdom Hearts. I think he's the best written. I think he's the most exciting. I think he's the most interesting. I thought about changing this to the Luxu Lodge. Instead of a Landy Lodge, will be a Luxu Lodge. Do you think we might get more screenshots soon? Look, I don't know. I'm just going to be the voice in the room that says, I don't expect anything anytime soon. I know a lot of people, they're excited for Summer Games Fest. They think it might show at Summer Games Fest. Maybe it does. But I don't know. It's weird, man, you know, because like it's the way I think about things. It's like, you know what? Think about it. When we all saw that trailer 3 years ago, I'm sure we all thought the game would be out by now. But if the game came out, we'd be getting that's a good point that Lauro brought up, is a lot of the Square Enix staff is telling people to sign up for the newsletters, follow them on Twitter to stay up with all the news, who's the only news you could trust. So you're starting to see them get a little bit more chatty about it, which is a good sign. But here's the thing, man. We probably all thought this game would be out by now. But to me, the wait alone is worth it. If it means waiting means it looks much better and less like this. So maybe we see more soon. But the longer we wait to see something, the better it's going to look. So there is an optimistic part of me that's like, oh man, it's got to be coming soon. But then there's the part of me that's like, oh, the longer we wait, the better it's going to be, dudes. You know? The longer we wait, the better it's going to be. That's how I feel. Well, what was that, chat? I missed it. Anyway. How long do you think it will take for Haley to do voice of Sora? Not long. Voice actors get their work done pretty quick. Let's see. All right. Ted Baxter says, interesting how Kingdom Hearts and One Piece started out as adventure series and have turned into sprawling mysteries full of hidden lore. Keeps the people engaged. I have since the start, it would come out not earlier than 2027. You're a smart one, MA. You're a smart one. You think it looks like PS3 graphics? I don't think so, man. I think what you're seeing, dude, here's the thing. These images are low resolution, right? You got to remember, these are not individual images. What they gave us was a collage. They gave us a collage of images. So all these images are a much lower quality than they actually are. That's why if I zoom in on Strelitzia, she gets blurry. So when you're saying to me that they don't look as up to date as they should, that's again because this image is a smaller scale than what it's otherwise going to be. You know, it's a collage where everything's been downscaled. So I wouldn't worry too much. All right. All right, sickos and normies. I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I thought I could make it to the 2-hour mark, but I've run out of things to say. And the last thing I think I should be doing is milking that. So, we're going to close this up here for today. But don't go anywhere just yet. Because there will be another podcast soon. I want to get a lot of Kingdom Hearts creators in here so you can hear more opinions other than just my own. Get some other people's thoughts on what all of this could be doing, what all this is about. So stay tuned for that. I'll be putting some clips up. We still have our first Soldier FF7 episode to do. Obviously, all this Kingdom Hearts news pushed that back. We'll either do that episode tomorrow or early next week. My parents are coming to visit this weekend because, again, as you guys know, the good news, if you didn't hear the good news from yesterday's stream, my wife and I purchased a house. The reason the channel's been so quiet, we've been moving into this house. I'm setting up my new office. I've even made some progress in the last day. But yeah, look, enough of me yapping. You guys know where to find me. More podcasts are on the way. Morning Quest will be back soon. Definitely want to do some live streams. Definitely want to, get on the airwaves a little bit more now that I'm getting settled into the home, settled into my new office, settled into my new lodge. But with that said, we're going to wrap up here. Ladies and gentlemen, you all be good out there, okay? Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And chat, before you go, I ask you one thing. I have one question. Chat, are we back? Chat, are we back? Chat, are we back? I'm waiting. Are we back? Matt, we're magic in the making. We are so fucking back. Are we back? I'm not closing this stream. I'm not closing this episode until I hear that we're back. Are we back? We never left. We never left. We are so back. We are so back, and it might be months until the next update, but another update will find us again. Ladies and gentlemen, sickos and normies, be good out there. Good to yourselves. Good to each other. And I will see all of you beautiful sickos and normies next time, baby!